Hello everyone, my name is Jose Avalos, aka Dr. Logicate, and in today's video we will make a quick overview of how to make music in the toy box using the new toys that we have available. We're going to need two toys in particular. One is the music note creator, which is going to be the actual notes that we're going to be playing. So I'm going to place 4 of these little guys over here, and also to coordinate the music, we're going to be using a toy in the Creativi-toys category that is called the Metronome. So the song that we're going to be doing is going to be Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You know, the classic Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. But in order to actually play it properly, we need to configure the metronome in a way that makes sense and it has a good timing with the song itself. And now you might be wondering, oh, time bar, impulses per time bar, number of full cycles, what is all this? And for that we actually are gonna have a little music theory in here. This is the music sheet for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You know, classic music sheet you can find on the internet or anywhere else. And the full song that you have in here is going to be called a cycle. Now within the cycle you can see that within separation of little vertical black bars is what is called a time bar. And also finally we have what we call impulses, which would be in a regular metronome the text that you would listen to. So what we're going to be doing in this case, just for simplicity's sake, is I'm going to say, okay, time bar duration, it's going to be 4. There's going to be 8 impulses per time bar, so that means that every note or every black note that we saw in the music sheet is going to last half a second. And time bars per time cycle, let's go with 3. And now, in case that you want to listen, okay, how the tempo of the music is, this property is actually really cool. Audible ticks and impulses, so you would listen to the tick, 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 tick that usually goes. And now that we have the metronome configured, we actually need to set up the notes. In Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, we have 4 different notes that we're going to be playing just at this particular one. So in the properties you might listen to, okay, the default note is a C in the classic music notation, and also the default octave, and also what instrument and how long you want the note to be in milliseconds. So for now the first notes on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is actually C. And what we will do for is in the metronome new logic connection, and once we have in time bar 1, which is the beginning of a song, and then impulse 1, we're gonna select this particular note and say play default note, which we already saw in the properties. Same thing with impulse 2. So new logic connection, and then time bar 1, impulse 2, and now we select play default note. The other 2 notes that are on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is a G. So now we need to configure this particular note. So for that we will go to the properties, and instead of saying default note a C, we will go with a G. And now we will do it so that new logic connection, time bar 1, and now instead of impulses 1 and 2, which are the first 2 notes, we're gonna go with impulse 3 and impulse 4. So play default note, and now new logic connection, time bar 1, impulse 4. Now we will play the default note. Now you might notice the other 2 notes, the 2 following ones are actually A, so we will configure that in the music note creator. So default note, instead of a C we will go with an A. And now in the time bar 1, and now it's impulse 5 and 6. So 5, we select the music creator, play default note, and now same thing with impulse 6. So time bar 1, impulse 6, and we select it and play default note. And finally, the last note in this particular time bar is again a G, but this one is a longer note. It's twice the length. So for that we will select the properties and say default note, we're gonna go with a G, and now the length, duration in this time, instead of 500 we're gonna go with 1000, so it lasts double the time. And since it's gonna double, instead of calling it for impulses 7 and 8, we will call it for impulses, just impulse 7. play default note. And now only thing I need to do is properties, and now instead of saying 4 time bars per cycle, I'm just gonna go with 1 time bar, because that's exactly what we did. And now once we have all this, all we need to do is make a logic connection between any Creativi-toy and the metronome. So we're gonna be going with the action button right here. I'm gonna put one in this place, and now we will select it and say new logic connection pressed. And we will select the metronome and say start cycle, which basically is play. And now if we press the button, twinkle, twinkle, little star, and that's the basic gist of it. Now you can configure the timing or the length of the notes or what octave you want it to be, but that's in a gist how you create songs in the toy box using the music note creator and the metronome. And if you want to know more about these toys, be sure to check out the longer video we have in our channel. And well, thanks for watching, everyone.